Hi everyone, it's Danny and today's video is going to be my 2013 favourites. So my favourites from the whole of last year, and this part is going to be makeup and brushes and tools and things like that, and then the next part will be skincare, hair care and body care. So I don't want to ramble too much on the intro because this is going to be a very long video, and I do have a few things to show you for each category because I didn't want to just leave things out that I loved to just try and stick to one per category, because I thought you'd want to see sort of everything that I've really been loving this year. So starting off with primers, and I have one brand of primer which I've really been loving, and it is the Laurent Mercier primers, and here I have the Radiance primer and the Protect primer, and I love both of them for the same reason really. They both just really smooth out the skin and make it feel really nice and hydrated, and my makeup goes on a lot easier and it stays looking nice for a lot longer. So I really love them for that reason. And the Protect one has SPF 30, so it really protects your skin from the sun, and the Radiance one gives your skin a lot of glow and it makes it really radiant. And then onto foundations, and I actually have 3 to show you. This is cheating a little bit, but I did say I was going to show you all the ones which I love, and I do love all of these equally. And the first one is a tinted moisturiser, and it is a NARS Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturiser, and I absolutely love this. I have it on today. I probably have it on in most of my videos because most of the time I don't bother with a full-on foundation because my skin's quite good anyway, so I just usually pop this on, add a bit of concealer, and that's my base. And I really love this because it is a tinted moisturiser, but it does have a really good sort of medium coverage, I would say, and it just leaves your skin looking really natural. It has a sort of satin finish with a slight bit of dewiness to it, but not too much that you look oily or anything. It just looks really natural and leaves your skin looking really glowing and fresh. So I really love this, and it does have an SPF of 30, so it does help to protect your skin from the sun as well, which makes it a really good summer one. And then the next foundation is probably no surprise because I have raved about it in a lot of my videos, and it is the YSL Teint Touche Eclat foundation, and I really love this foundation for my skin's looking a bit dull or if it needs some extra coverage, because I would say this has a good medium coverage that can be built up to a full coverage, so it really does cover everything, but it still looks really natural on the skin because it has a very nice dewy finish, but it's not overly dewy that you look shiny. It just looks very natural and glowing, like the NARS one, but slightly amped up. And then this next foundation has received quite a lot of love on YouTube this year, and it is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and I love this as much as the other YouTubers and bloggers seem to. It is such a lovely foundation. It's quite a natural finish. It doesn't have much of a glow, but it isn't completely matte. It just leaves a really nice natural satin finish to the skin, and I would say it's probably a medium coverage, but it can be sheared out or built up, so it's a really versatile foundation that I think would work for most people. Next on to concealers, and there are a few that I've been loving. The first ones are the Bobbi Brown Corrector and Concealer. I use these mostly in conjunction with each other, or I use the corrector paired with another concealer, but they just work so well. They cover literally everything. The corrector I have is a peachy colour, so it really cancels out all of the blueness and the darkness under your eyes, and when they're paired together I literally just have no dark circles, which is amazing because my dark circles are quite bad. And then the next concealer has been raved about a lot in people's 2013 favourites, and I can see why, because it is amazing, and it is a NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and this is probably the best tube concealer I've ever tried, or maybe even the best concealer I've ever tried. It's really creamy and thick, but it's not heavy at all. It is quite light on the skin once applied, but it does cover everything, which is amazing, and it really brightens your under eyes, but it works really well on spots as well and doesn't draw attention to them. So I think that's a really good quality about it, because it's quite hard to find a concealer that works all over your face. And then next for powder, there are 2 powders that I've been loving throughout the year, and the first one is the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. This is just a really cheap drugstore powder, but it really does the job. I've probably used this one the most because it is just so simple, and it just really takes away the shine without completely mattifying your skin, and it's just so easy to apply throughout the day if any shine appears. And then the next one I can't really open, but it is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Luminous Light, and mine is broken, which is why I can't really show you too well, but it's a really lovely champagne colour, and it just really brightens up your skin but takes away all the shine, and it just leaves a really lovely glow, and it doesn't add any coverage. It just makes you look really healthy and glowing, which I really love. And then onto brows, and there's only 3 3 brow products that I've really been loving this year, and the first one is the Hourglass Arch Brow Sculpting Pencil, and I have the shade Dark Brunette, and I absolutely love this. It makes filling in your brows so easy, and they don't look natural but they don't look really harsh and drawn on. It's what I have in my brows today and I really love the results. It has a spoolie end to brush through your brows and get them in the perfect shape, and then it has the pencil end, which is sort of a triangular pencil. It's quite thick, but it works really well at sort of filling in your brows, and it works well at sort of creating extra brow if your brows are quite thin. It doesn't look really fake and unnatural on sort of skin, so I really like that about it. And it's quite waxy, so it does stay in place all day. It doesn't sort of smudge around and end up halfway down your face by the end of the day. So I really love this, and I do really recommend it, and this is my second one, which shows you something. And then if I just want to quickly run something through my brows, I will use MAC Brun eyeshadow, which is this one here. It's sort of the same colour as the Hourglass brow pencil but in powder form, and it does appear slightly lighter on the brows, and it's just really good for running through your brows if you just want a bit of colour but don't want them properly drawn on. So I really love that eyeshadow, and I have used it a lot and there's barely a dent in it, so MAC eyeshadows are really good to use for brow products because they just last forever. And then to set it all in place, I've really been loving the e.l.f. Wet Gloss Lash and Brow Clear Mascara, and I absolutely love this. It's only about £3 or £4, but it's the best brow set I've ever used, so I really do love it and I will continue to repurchase it. Next on to bronzer, and there's only really one bronzer I've used this whole year, and I'm sure you've seen it before. It is NARS Laguna bronzer. It's just a really lovely warm brown. It's not orange at all, it just really warms up the face, but it can be used for contouring as well, which is great. It makes it a really good multitasking product, and I do use this sometimes in the crease of my eye as well, just to blend out eyeshadows or to just add a bit of definition. So I really love it, and I've been using it a lot, and I've barely made a dent. I don't think I'm anywhere near hitting pan, and I just really love it and I do recommend it. And then for contouring specifically, I've been loving this product, and it is the Kevyn Sculpting Powder, and this is just a really lovely grey toned brown, so it's really good at just creating a shadow, and this works on pretty much all skin tones. I've seen this work really well on pale people and it works really well for me, so I'm sure it would work really well on most people, and it just really carves out cheekbones even if you don't have them, so I absolutely love it and I do recommend it to anyone wanting a more chiselled face. The next category is blush, and with blushes I do have quite a lot, so I just sort of flit around between all of them and I don't have any sure favourites, but I have noticed there are a few that I do go back to a lot, and they're ones that I just know will work. And the first one is NARS Gina, and Gina is just a really lovely true peach colour. It just really brightens up the face and adds a bit of warmth, and I think this works on most skin tones and most people, and this works with any makeup look I wear really, so I absolutely love it, and I just think it suits my complexion really well, and I just go back to it whenever I just want something fail safe that I know will make me look really nice and glowing and healthy. And then the next one is MAC Desert Rose, and I really love this. It's sort of a dusty rosy pink colour, and it just works with so many makeup looks. It just adds a bit of colour and life to your cheeks without overpowering whatever eyeshadow or lip colour you're wearing, so I really love it for that reason, because it's just so versatile and so natural looking. I would say it doesn't add a lot of sort of vibrant colour to you, it just adds a bit of life. Next up is highlighter, and there are two which I absolutely love and I really couldn't choose between, and the first one is a cream highlighter, and it is the Jouer highlighter in Champagne, and this is just, as it says, a really lovely champagne highlight, and it's really creamy but it doesn't sort of feel watery at all. It just blends into the skin really seamlessly and then sets, and it just gives you a really lovely glow. I have it on today if you can see, and I absolutely love it. It works with any makeup I'm wearing, so if my makeup's quite matte it works, or even if it's quite dewy and creamy it works, which I find not many cream highlighters do. And then the next one is a powder highlight, and it is the Kevyn Celestial Powder in Candlelight, and I tend to wear this if I'm wearing a heavier makeup look because it is a lot more glowy and it does really make your cheekbones stand out, but I absolutely love it. It does add a lot of glow to the skin, but it's really finely milled so it doesn't look glittery at all. Next up is eyeshadow, and first up I'm going to do cream eyeshadows and then do powder eyeshadows, and one cream eyeshadow which I absolutely love is the Maybelline Colour Tattoo in On and On Bronze, and this is a really lovely cool toned bronze colour, which is a really great eyeshadow to use if you really can't be bothered in doing your eyeshadow, because you can just swipe it on and it looks like you've done a whole eyeshadow look, because it ends up somehow looking darker in the crease, and it just really adds some definition to your eyes and makes them look a lot more done. So I really love that. And then I also love the MAC paint pots. The first one which I love is Groundwork, which is just a really lovely eyeshadow base, or it's great if you just want a really subtle wash of colour on your lids. It would be more noticeable on paler people, but for me this is just a really subtle brown wash. And then the next one is Eclat, and this one was limited edition, which is why I thought I'd mention other ones as well, not just this, but this probably is my most favourite cream eyeshadow, and it's just a really lovely warm coppery bronze colour, and I absolutely love it. It just really adds a lot of definition to the eyes and just looks really smoky, and I really do love it, and I'm really upset that it is limited edition. Oh, and then I do have one more cream eyeshadow to show you, but this one is in stick form, and it is the Clinique Chubby Stick for Eyes in Fuller Fudge, and this is very similar to MAC Eclair but slightly less dark and slightly less coppery, but I do love it all the same. This one can be quite sheer, or it can be built up, so it's really great if you just want a subtle wash, or you can build it up to be more of a smoky eye, so I really love that, and it does last a really long time on the eyelids like all the others. The eyeshadows, there are only really two palettes that have stood out to me, and the first one is the Hermes K Naked 2 palette, and I got this quite a while ago for my birthday, but I've used it a lot more this year, and I do love it. It's really great for creating smoky eyes or everyday eyeshadow looks. It has a really great range of colours. It's sort of more cool toned, but there are a few warmer tones such as Chopper and Snakebite, but I do really love it, and I think it would suit a lot of people, and it's a great one to have in your collection. Okay, so I just had to stop for a sweetie break, because unless you are a beauty YouTuber and you've made a 2013 favourites video, you won't realise quite how long they take to film, and I really just needed some energy, and now I'm back, and I'm back with my final eyeshadow favourite. So continuing on with my eyeshadow favourites, the next favourite of mine is my MAC Quad, which I made myself, and I just love all four colours. The first one is Woodwinked, and then this one is Wedge, this one is Satin Taupe, and this one is Brun, and I use this one for my brows. But I absolutely love all four colours, and this is the quad which I take with me if I'm going to have to be doing my makeup elsewhere, because I can sort of create any makeup look I'd want to wear that day with this. I'd say Woodwinked is a really lovely golden colour with a slight bit of bronze to it, and it's just really nice, and it just really wakes up your eyes and makes them look really bright and just adds a tiny bit of definition. And then Wedge is just a really lovely crease colour to blend out the other eyeshadows, and then Satin Taupe is just a really lovely cool taupe eyeshadow if I want to wear a cooler makeup look that day. And then Brun is obviously for my brows, but it's really lovely in the crease as well to just darken it up a little bit. So I really love all four of these colours, and I have got a lot of use out of them. For mascara, there are two which I really love, and the first one I loved for sort of the first 6 months of the year, and then the other one I loved for sort of the last 6 months of the year, so I thought I'd show you both of them, and they are the Revlon Grow Luscious Mascara, which is the one that I'm using currently, and the other one is the L'Oreal Volume Million Lashes Mascara, which you would have seen me use a lot more in the beginning of the year. I absolutely love both of these mascaras. This one's slightly better at lengthening, and this one's slightly better at volumizing, but they're both really good at both, but this one you have to build up quite a bit to get some length, but this one's just really quick and easy to use. So I absolutely love both of them, and this is the one that I use more on sort of special occasions or somewhere where I want my eyelashes to look extra nice, because although I have to put in a bit more effort, the outcome is a lot nicer and fuller, and they do look slightly more like fake eyelashes, but obviously not fake, they do look real, but they just look really long and full. But this one is the one that I use sort of most days. And then for eyeliner, there is one that I've been loving for sort of years and years now. I have been loving the Topshop Magic Liner lately, but I haven't been using it for long enough to mention it in my 2013 favourites. So this is the one which I've been loving for the longest, and it's a Collection 2000 Extreme Felt Tip Liner, and this is quite similar to the Topshop one, but slightly thicker, but it still is quite fine and does create a cat flick really easily. And you can make the line quite thin if you just use the nib, or it can be slightly thicker if you press down slightly more, because it is slightly thicker at the base. So I really love this, and it's a really great liner to use if you're just beginning or you're not very good at doing eyeliner. And then for lips, I am a huge lipstick lover, so I have quite a few to show you. I haven't been wearing lipstick that much lately because I've had a bit of a dry lip situation problem, but there are still quite a lot which I love. Starting off with nudes, and I have 4 nudes which I absolutely love. The first one is the one I'm wearing now, and it is NARS Tollied lipstick, and this is just a really lovely Your Lips But Better colour. It's not too pigmented, but it does add a nice wash of colour to your lips, and it's just a really lovely natural pinky brown colour. So I absolutely love this, and this is definitely my favourite of the favourite nudes. And then the next one is my favourite nude to pair with the smoky eye, and it is MAC Freckle Tone. This one's more of a pale peachy nude, but I do really love it. It is quite sheer again, so it doesn't completely blank out your lips. It just adds a really nice nude peachy wash, and it just pairs really well with the smoky eye. And then the next two are more glosses, and the first one is the Clarins Instant Light Natural Lip Perfector, and I have the shade 06, and this is the darkest one, and this one's sort of more of a browny nude colour, but I really love it to pair over nude lipsticks or just make them a bit more glossy, or on its own just on my lips just to make them more glossy and add a tiny tint of colour. So I really love this, and it's really nice and moisturising, and it smells amazing. And the next one is a chubby stick kind of product, and it is the Soap and Glory Sexy Mother Pucker Gloss Stick, and this is in the shade Nudist, and it's just a really lovely nude colour. It's quite brown toned, it's sort of a pinky brown colour, but it is very sheer, so it just makes your lips look a little bit more done, and it's again sort of a your lips but better colour. So I absolutely love this if I just want a slight wash of colour on my lips, and it's quite moisturising and glossy as well. And then the next lipstick could be classed as a nude on darker skins, but on me it's quite brown, and it is MAC Taupe, and I absolutely love this colour if I want more of a 90s look, because it is that kind of 90s matte brown colour, but it just looks really lovely, and it's quite different to your usual nude, so I absolutely love it, and it just looks really great with minimal eye makeup and bronzer and things like that. So I really do love this, and it's just a great unusual lipstick. The next lipstick is slightly brighter again, and it is the Body Shop Colour Crush lipstick in the shade 110, and this is sort of a pinky peachy colour but with a slight bit of nude to it, so it does really brighten up your lips, but it's not really vibrant, and it doesn't really take over the whole makeup look, so you can still wear sort of a smoky eye with it or a bright blush with it, because it isn't really that bold, but it does add a nice bit of colour and just makes you look more awake and alive. So I really love this, and it's a really great peachy colour if you don't want one that's too light or too vibrant. And then the next two lipsticks are more vibrant reds, and the first one is MAC Lady Danger, which is a really bright matte vibrant orange red, and I absolutely love this. It's really bold, and it does really stand out when you wear it. I like to pair this with sort of contour, highlight, mascara, really flawless skin and not much else, because then it does really stand out, and it just makes your lips look really nice and plump. And I don't know, it's just a really lovely lipstick to wear when you don't really want to wear much makeup, but you just still want to look really put together, because it just completely finishes off a really simple makeup look. And then the next lipstick is my favourite red, and it's not your usual choice. It's MAC Chili, and I really love this. This is sort of a more terracotta brown tone red, and I really love this because it's just a lot more wearable, I find, because it's not so bright and vibrant, and it pairs really well with a smoky eye because it isn't so vibrant, so it doesn't really compete with it too much. And I just really love this all year round. It's a really good evening lipstick, I think, because it is slightly vampy, and yeah, I just absolutely love it. So that is it for my makeup favourites, and then I'm just going to include a couple of nail favourites. And I don't paint my nails all that much, and when I do, I sort of go for a different colour each time, so I don't really have any strict nail polish colour favourites, but I do have some base and top coat favourites. And for my favourite base coat, it is the C&D Sticky Base Coat, and this is just really good at anchoring your polish down to your nail and really strengthening your nail and just making your nail polish last a lot longer and just stick to your nail a lot better. So I really do like this, and I do recommend it. The top coat, I love the ever famous Seche Vite. This is really the best top coat I found. I used to use the Sally Hansen one, which was great, and it did really set your nails in place, but it took a lot longer to dry. But this one dries so fast. It's amazing, and I can literally paint my nails and be done in about 15 minutes and not have to worry about them smudging. So I really love that, and it just really makes them really shiny. I do find that this makes my nail polish peel a lot easier, but I don't really mind because it dries so quickly that I don't mind painting my nails more often. And then for my actual nail polish favourites, I don't have any strict colour favourites, but I do have a favourite brand, and my favourite brand is Essie, and these are kind of my favourite colours. This one is Bahama Mama, and this one is Saint Tropez, and this one's just a really lovely pale browny nude colour, and then this one's a really lovely deep pinky colour, and I do really love them, but I can't really say they're my favourites because I don't really wear them all that much. But Essie is definitely my favourite brand. They just apply so nicely, the brush is really nice and wide, and they're opaque in 1 or 2 coats, which is really great, and it means I don't have to spend ages building up coats, and I just think they're really good quality, and even though they are about £8, I definitely think they're worth it. And then finally I wanted to mention some of my favourite tools, mostly brushes, but I do have some tweezers in there which I absolutely love, and the tweezers which I use are the Tweezerman mini travel size tweezers. They're just really great. I don't feel the need to get the full size ones because these are cheaper and they work just as well, and they're just really great because the nib is really slanted and really sharp, so they just catch every single hair and they're just really easy to use. And then brush wise, I've mainly been loving Real Techniques brushes, particularly these four. This is the Expert Face brush which I use for my foundation. This is the base shadow brush which I use for my eyeshadow, just sort of crease eyeshadow and sometimes all over eyeshadow. And then this is the Real Techniques setting brush which I use for powdering sort of under my eyes and just sort of spot powdering. And then this is the Real Techniques powder brush which I use for all over powder, and they're just really amazing brushes. I would say they're just as good as MAC brushes, so if you can find an alternative by Real Techniques for a MAC brush you want, I definitely recommend getting it because they are really amazing quality and they just really do the job really well. And then other than that, there are sort of four brushes which I really love. And the first one is the MAC 168 brush, and this is a sort of angled brush which I use for my contour, my blush and my highlight, and it's just really great because it's angled so it blends everything out as you're going along, and it's just a really great multitasking brush. And then the MAC brush which I love the most, and probably the brush which I love the most, is the MAC 217 brush, and this is just a staple for anyone. I think you just really need it in your collection if you wear eyeshadow because it just really makes the look a lot more seamless and a lot more blended because it is a blending brush. And then I have two other random brush favourites, and the first one is the H&M eyeshadow brush, and I'm not sure what this is actually called, but if you go into H&M and look at the eyeshadow brushes, it's sort of the brown fluffy one which is kind of flat on both sides, and I just really love this for a lot of things. It's really great for packing eyeshadow onto the lid and also for blending it out at the same time whilst you're doing that, and also for crease colour, and this is sort of the brush I take with me if I need a good multitasking eyeshadow brush. And then I also really love this brush which is the number 7 powder blush brush, and this is the brush which I use for the same sort of purpose as this MAC brush, but I use this when I want it a lot more targeted. So I mainly use this for highlights and blush, but I do sometimes use it for contour as well because it's just a really lovely small size and it really does get into the hollows of your cheeks, and it's really good at sort of putting your highlight right where you want it and everything like that. So I definitely recommend this if you want a really good blush brush which is quite good value for money because this was only about £8 I believe. So that is everything. That is my 2013 favourites, makeup wise, nail wise and tools wise. So in a couple of days I'll upload my other part for my 2013 favourites which will have hair care, skin care, body care, things like that, so do look out for that. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and it wasn't too long and rambly, but I did want to include all the products which I love, and I will list everything in the down bar along with all of my links, and I would really love it if you let me know in the comments your favourite products of 2013 because I do love trying out new things and I want to sort of try out a lot more new things so I can do a lot more varied makeup tutorials and a lot more reviews. So do let me know your favourites and I will definitely check them out and look at them. So yeah, I can't wait to hear all your comments, and do like this video if you liked it and subscribe to see more of my videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.